Hello, I'm Amanda Hawking, and welcome to my Writing on Wednesdays videos. On Wednesdays, I like to just talk about different things about writing, because I'm a writer. I like to give advice and just talk about different parts of the process that I enjoy, or sometimes what I'm struggling with. I've been having kind of like a rough past couple of weeks creatively, so I thought today I would do something that was just kind of fun. And one of my favorite parts of my job is when I'm initially like brainstorming and outlining an idea and I start dreamcasting the characters. So I thought that I would go over my dreamcast, over my newest book, Bestow the Darkness. Now, Bestow the Darkness is a brooding gothic romance, and so the cast was really important to me. And this book hasn't been optioned for a movie or anything. None of my books have been movies yet, although I still, fingers crossed, someday there'll be a movie or TV show. But this time there's none, but it's still super fun to kind of picture and imagine who I would have play it, if it was to go to screen right now. So the main character is Emiliath, and she would be the most important one to cast. For her, I kind of pictured Ella Purnell. But Ella Purnell isn't exactly. I love her face and her Betty Davis eyes, which I just really love, and that was my big kind of draw for her as Emiliath, because she's very quiet and so much of what she does is seeing and watching, and so I wanted her to have these big wide eyes. I did describe Emiliath, the character, though, as a little bit chubbier, especially now that she's gotten into her role as a siderum. She is able to have larger portions of food, and she's put on weight, which happens to a lot of people, and so I would like her to be a little like chubbier and curvier. Because of the nature of her life, I don't think she would be like full on like very plus size, but she's not stick thin, and that was also a deliberate choice. So much of the gothic romances that I read, and that the movies that I watched, they feature very wafy, thin, blonde, pale. I don't know, so with Emiliath, I did want to subvert that and have a character that was a little bit more substantial. So like I said, I did watch a lot of gothic romance and historical romance, and that has basically like every one that I watched that had come out like the past 10-15 years had Mia Wasikowska in it. I don't know if I'm saying Mia Wasikowska? Yeah. In it. And I do really like her, and so I did still cast her, dreamcast her, because like I watched Jane Eyre, Crimson Peak, Madame Bovary. I know I'm even forgetting some. Like, she's in so many of them, and she's good in all of them. But I wanted someone, Emiliath, I did very much contrast the way that she looks with her, and I wanted Emiliath to be the main character and her to be, to have more of an olive, darker skin. Because of the nature of them being raised in an orphanage, I don't really know, the characters themselves, for the most part, there are some exceptions, don't really know what their races are. So I am also, if this were to ever go to screen, I'm very much open to them being cast as different races. With the exception of Thomasin, whose race is very specified, but I will get to her in a minute. So, as I was saying, for Aveline, I would love Mia Wasikowska. She's a little bit like older now. I mean, because I think Aveline is supposed to be 21, and I think that Mia's like gotta be in her 30s by now. But she still, I think, plays young really well. And like again, if you make a gothic romance movie and you don't cast Mia Wasikowska in it, like, have you made one? We'll go on next to Thomasin, who's another one of the main characters, and she's really important to me, and she is Ojibwe, so I would really want to make sure that whoever's cast as her is Ojibwe, or at least Native American. And so for her, I picked her as a dreamcaster as Devery Jacobs, and I don't think that Devery Jacobs is Ojibwe, but she is Native American, and I think she really she looks like how I picture Thomasin looking. She has that, I don't know, kind of quality to her that I really like. For Helene, actually, and I started writing this book last year, and my dream cast, I had her as Olivia Rodrigo, and that was before she came out with, Sour and the song of the summer. So it's actually pretty fun for me to see it, because I think it's super funny when for me, if I dream cast someone and then for some reason they go on to be in something, and I feel like, I don't know, I've somehow contributed to their success, even though the only person who knows who my dreamcast is me, so I don't know. But it's still fun that I love that when the stuff ties in like that. For Mother Magdalena, I dreamcast Nicole Kidman. I think she would be perfect. Especially, I really like her work in The Others and Stepford Wives and Beloved, I think, yeah. Or Beguiled, not Beloved, sorry. But Nicole Kidman would be perfect as Mother Magdalena. David, I pictured Charles Dance. And honestly, I love Charles Dance so much, and I would Dreamcast him in every one of my books that's any characters, just as long as, you know, it's Charles Dance. He brings such a gravitas to everything, and he's amazing. He's so, like, it doesn't matter what he's in, he's just always like bringing his A game. He's most known for, obviously, Game of Thrones as Tywin Lannister, but he was also absolutely amazing in this sci-fi miniseries they did a few years back for Childhood's End, which I can't remember who wrote it. It's I'm blanking. It's like someone, but anyway, the retelling was like okay, but his role in it was he was wonderful. Like, I loved it. It's worth seeing just for the Charles Dance character, and yeah. For Luther, I Dreamcast Ezra Miller. Yeah, I just thought he would be good. Bethel and Lenore are both seen mostly through flashbacks, but I still think that, like, I still Dreamcast them because they're still there. And for Bethel, I'd have Sophia Hublitz. She's in the Ozark TV series on Netflix, and I think she's just really good. And for Lenore, I would picture Zendaya. I love Zendaya. Again, she's someone who I would Dreamcast and everything. Like, any role can be for Zendaya if she wants it, if it ever gets to screen. Like, obviously. But, yeah. For Winifred, I Dreamcast Sadie Sink. She was in Stranger Things on Netflix, and, like, she came in season 2 and 3, I think. Yeah. And so I think that she would be good for Winifred. Now, for the boys, for Ozias, I Dreamcast Liam Hemsworth, because obviously I do. I'm like, yeah. And for Trent, I Dreamcast Logan Marshall Green. Like, I just think he would add, he has this really, like, patient cadence to him that you really like. I mean, it depends on which role he's in or whatever, but it was actually the first idea that I got for Bestow the Darkness. I was watching Prometheus, which he is in, and because I was originally going to write a sci-fi novel, and so I was really trying to get into sci-fi, and so I was watching a bunch of my favorite sci-fi movies and reading sci-fi books and that kind of thing. And when I was watching Prometheus, I was really thinking about what, you know, Ridley Scott's reoccurring themes and what actually draws me to these stories, and seeing them kind of wrestle with a lot of big questions about religion and life. And so that's actually where it came from when I read Paradise Lost, and which was the original title for Prometheus. The original title for Prometheus was Paradise Lost. And so there's all these, he's making all these references in there to, there's a lot of literary references to Paradise Lost and Frankenstein and that kind of thing. And so I really like drew from that. I think that even though he had the sci-fi story, a lot of his inspirations were really like gothic, and the sci-fi and the science kind of was overwhelming to me. And so I went back to what actually drew me to these stories, and it was like this gothic dark thing. And I happened to, like I said, I was watching Prometheus and the idea grew. And so I think that, you know, seeing Logan Marshall Green at that time really made him kind of meld as Trent for me, and because of the kernels, the idea grew from there. So that is the main cast for Bestow the Darkness. Yeah, so comment below and let me know who you would Dreamcast in the book, or who you Dreamcast in any of the books, including your own. Like, what are some of your Dreamcasts for your current work in progress? I love to see what people are thinking of and what is inspiring them and who is inspiring them. Yeah. Bestow the Darkness is out now in ebook, and it will be out in paperback next month. I'll be back next week with more videos and tips on writing, and until next time, happy writing, and thank you for watching.